Hello there. The F&B has learned a lot from showmanship in how to engage all the senses in attracting consumers to consume their product. We have a very popular drink in Malaysia called teh tarik, and literally it means pooled tea. As the tea comes out piping hot, what the owner of the shop does is that he pours the tea from one jug to another jug, and the distance between one jug and the other stretches. The higher the difference between the both jugs as he pours it from one jug to another, the more showman there is, and the more popular that that outlet becomes. There was even once F&B dairies who produce milk, sweetened milk, condensed milk, came up with a contest to see who had the best showman in teh tarik. So F&B has learned to engage the senses, not just the sense of taste, but the sense of smell and the sense of sight. In Showmen, it's all about sight. Hotels has learned this as well. When they present the food, the look of the food is very, very attractive. And entertainers know this. It's not just about music. As you see conductors conduct the music, there's a lot of entertainment value. Michael Jackson was a master of entertainment and attracting and engaging all the senses, the sense of the hearing, the sense of sight. So the more senses you engage, the more better your product appears to be. As leaders, we need to also engage senses. As we can see, Jesus was engaging all the senses in this passage from the Bible according to Mark chapter 7 verses 31 to 37. Returning from the district of Tyre, Jesus went by way of Sidon towards the Sea of Galilee, right through the Decapolis region. And they brought him a deaf man who had an impediment in his speech, and they asked him to lay his hands on him. He took him aside in private, away from the crowd, put his fingers into the man's ear and touched his tongue with spittle. Then looking up to heaven, he sighed and said to him, Ephrata, that is, be opened. And his ears were opened, and the ligament of his tongue was loosened, and he spoke clearly. And Jesus ordered them not to tell no one about it, but the more he insisted, the more widely they published it. Their admiration was unbounded. He had done all things well, they said. He makes the deaf hear and the dumb speak. The gospel of the Lord. Now Jesus is engaged a sort of entertainment. I believe that he didn't need to do the showmanship in healing someone. That's my personal opinion. I don't feel he needed to do that. But he needed to do that so that his performance was spread out, that he would gather a larger audience from his performance itself. Magicians do this all the time. So as leaders, how can we engage as many senses as possible? How can we engage the sight and make ourselves showmen? Richard Branson is a master of showmanship and as a leader. He is a mighty showman. And all good leaders have an element of showmanship. Let us now think about how we can make our leadership into a little bit of a showman. And I think we can by learning to engage the senses and making a showman out of ourselves. We may not be essentially better leaders, but we will appear to be better leaders, which is equally as important as being good leaders. The appearance, the publicity of being a good leader is just as important as good leadership. So don't neglect the appearance of your publicity, your PR, and your showmanship. That is just as important. My thought for this evening. Have a good evening.